Malaysia is on the right track to economic recovery amid global tensions regarding the rising inflation rate.
Malaysia's Consumer Price Index or CPI increased by 3.4% year-on-year.
Rakyat Malaysia tidak terasing daripada terkena tempias inflasi yang kini melanda serata dunia dengan 45%.
Inflasi Malaysia pada Mac 2022 kekal 2.2% dengan inflasi makanan meningkat.
Yang saya tahu inflasi ni maksudnya kenaikan tingkat harga barang dan perkhidmatan secara berterusan dari semasa ke semasa dalam sebuah ekonomi negara. Inflasi juga menyebabkan tingkat pendapatan boleh guna masyarakat berkurang dan kos beli masyarakat berkurang. Sebagai contoh, dulu kita boleh gunakan RM50 untuk beli banyak barang secara pukal, tapi pada masa kini mungkin kita boleh beli sedikit barang iaitu 2 hingga 5 barang untuk RM50 sahaja.
Inflation refers to a sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services in an economy over a period of time. It means that, on average, prices are rising and the purchasing power of money is decreasing. Inflation is typically measured using various price indices, such as the Consumer Price Index (CPI) or the Producer Price Index (PPI).
There are several causes of inflation and different factors can contribute to its occurrence. First, increased money supply. One of the primary causes of inflation is an increase in the money supply in an economy. When the central bank or monetary authorities increase the amount of money available in the system, it can lead to higher spending and demand for goods and service. This excess demand, without a corresponding increase in the supply of goods, can drive price upward, resulting in inflation. Second, rising production costs. Inflation can also be caused by an increase in the production costs faced by business. When the cost of labor, raw materials, energy or other inputs required for production rise, producer may pass on these higher costs to consumer in the form of higher prices. This is known as cost-push inflation, as it is driven by increased production costs rather than increased demand. Third, change in demand and supply. Change in demand and supply conditions can also lead to inflation. If demand for goods and services exceeds the available supply, price tend to rise. This is known as demand pull inflation.
Can you introduce your name?
My name is Afif and I am from Kuala Lumpur.
Okay, Afif, boleh tak kau ceritakan tentang kehidupan kau di KL as a B40?
As a B40, live in Kuala Lumpur I find it very difficult because everything nowadays quite expensive. Not like a few years back where living as B40 quite comfortable, not that hard, but okay. But nowadays it's really hard for me to buy my daily needs, so I really have to take account for everything.
Inflation can raise food costs, directly affecting the cost of life in B40 areas. The Consumer Prices Index (CPI) measures the average rise in the price of goods and services. When the cost of raw materials, transportation, and labor rises, food manufacturers and merchants frequently pass the expense on to customers. Individuals and families in B40 neighborhoods must spend more than their income to purchase the same amount of food, thereby straining their finance and hurting their general well-being. As a result, purchasing power has declined as the value of money has declined. Good example of government efforts are Bantuan Keluarga Malaysia. For healthcare, inflation can have a direct influence on healthcare costs such as medical services, medication, and health insurance premiums. As healthcare costs grow, access to excellent treatment becomes increasingly difficult for B40 communities who may already have limited financial resources. Lastly, for education, inflation can also have an impact on the cost of education, such as school fees, textbooks, and other educational resources. Inflation can create hurdles to accessing accelerated education in B40 areas, where education may be considered as a way to break the cycle of poverty. Income disparity and inflation. Malaysia, like many other nations, has wide income disparities between socio-economic categories. The B40 community comprises the bulk of Malaysia's population and is made up of low-income individuals who frequently work in low-skilled and informal sector employment. According to the Malaysian Department of Statistics, there will be a number of families in 2020 with an average monthly household income of less than RM2,500. B40 neighbourhoods suffer a number of obstacles, including inadequate access to high-quality education, healthcare and job prospects. Lower income levels and economic downturn are exacerbated by these variables. Furthermore, the B40 group frequently experience financial uncertainty, rendering them particularly exposed to the negative consequences of inflation.
Coping strategy and financial education are crucial for the B40 community. First, budgeting. Budgeting it helps individuals make informed financial decisions, deduct expenses and allocate resources wisely. Second, saving. Regular saving provides a financial cushion, protect against unexpected expenses and ensure stability during inflation. Third, entrepreneurship. Becoming entrepreneur offers income growth, finance control and adaptability to economic change. In financial education, government, financial institutions and community organizations provide programs on budgeting, saving, debt management and investment. Next, collaboration effort. Stakeholders collaborate to offer practical guidance and resources to the B40 community. Last, community-based program. Local initiative fostering a supportive environment, empowering individuals and improving financial well-being. The government support the B40 community through key measures. First, subsidy program. They provide subsidy on essential goods like food, fuel, and public transport. This subsidy reduces financial burden and assumes affordable access to basic necessities. Second, cash transfer program. Direct cash transfer like Bantuan Sara Hidup and Bantuan Perhatian Rakyat as eligible low-income individual and household, improving financial well-being and helping them cope with inflation. Lastly, affordable housing initiative. Various program and policy address housing affordability, offering scheme, subsidy and financing option. This provide living condition and overall well-being for low-income individual and family.
Pada pendapat awak, apakah strategi untuk menghadapi inflasi dalam golongan B40?
Okey, pada pandangan saya, sebagai seorang pelajar dalam golongan B40, saya akan menentukan perbelanjaan mingguan saya dengan berhemah. Contohnya, saya akan belanja mengikut keperluan.
Inflation is a serious problem for Malaysia's B40 community, which spend most of its income on essential goods and services that have become more expensive. This mini video documentary shows how inflation impacts the B40 group's living standards, aspirations, and opportunities, and can create social and economic inequalities that harm the nation's progress and harmony. It also presents some coping strategy and policy measures to help the B40 groups deal with inflation and improve their situation. This mini video documentary urges viewers to be aware of the issue and supports the B40 community in various ways, such as donating, volunteering, patronizing their product or services. By doing so, we can contribute to a more fair and prosperous society for Malaysians.